You've ever hear a brand new song that just instantly feels like a memory? Let's imagine for a second that Bruno Mars drops a new album in, say, 2026. And on it, there's this one track called Risk It All. And it has this really strange, powerful ability to make you feel nostalgic for something you've never even lived through. Well, today, we're going to break down exactly how a song like that gets made, piece by brilliant piece. I mean, musicologist Kismet Ali just nails it with this quote, right? It's like finding a photograph from a dream you can't quite remember. It feels personal, it feels immediate, and somehow it's just so deeply familiar, even on the very first listen. So how is that even possible? That is the big mystery we are going to solve today. And I'll tell you right now, it isn't magic. It's a series of incredibly smart, deliberate choices in music, in production, and in storytelling. So let's follow the clues. Okay, our first clue is buried deep in the song's DNA. This isn't just a pop song, and it's not just R&B. It's what the source material calls a Bolero-Pop fusion. It's a genre that's intentionally looking backward to create something totally new, and it's a nod to Bruno Mars's own cultural heritage. The easiest way to think about it is like a bridge connecting two different worlds. The song takes all the soul and the drama of those classic Latin American love songs and then wraps it all up in the super clean, crisp sound of modern R&B. And that blend, that's the key. It gives us something that sounds both old and new at the exact same time, and that triggers this really powerful sense of timelessness.
So that's the genre, but how is the emotion itself built? See, the emotional pull of this song is no accident. It's practically a mathematical formula. That feeling of yearning is hardwired right into the song's musical bones. And it all starts with a very specific choice of notes. The E Harmonic Minor scale. It has what musicians call a Spanish tinge. It's a sound that our ears have been trained to hear for decades, through movies and music, and we associate it with high drama, sweeping romance, and really deep, heartfelt passion. And this right here, this is the engine room of that emotion. This is the core chord progression. It's so cinematic, you know? It creates this beautiful cycle of tension and then release. It really feels like a story unfolding, with every single chord change just pulling you deeper into the mood.
Now, out of all those chords, I want you to look at this one, the B7th. In musical terms, this chord creates this intense, almost desperate need to get back to the home chord, which is E minor. The source calls it a physical pull. It's the musical version of that feeling of wanting to go home, and when it finally gets there, it's just this huge emotional release. That is the feeling of longing, literally coded into sound. Okay, so we've got the genre and we've got the theory, but what about the actual sound? Our next clue is in the production itself. The team decided to ditch that crisp, digital perfection for something way warmer, more flawed, and honestly, more human. They gave it a purely analog soul. And here it is, the secret recipe for that warmth. Every single piece of gear you're looking at is a legend, and it's famous for adding character, not just making things clear. That Sony mic, it captures every tiny little detail in his voice. The Neve preamp, that's your instant 70s warmth, the sound of countless classic records. And the LA2A compressor just smooths everything out like butter. This whole chain is designed to make his voice feel like it's right there in the room with you. And that creates this incredible sense of intimacy. Oh, this is one of my favorite details. So instead of recording every instrument in its own sterile, isolated booth, they recorded them all together, in the same room. And that bleed you see described there, that's the sound of the room itself. It's kind of like hearing your friends' voices overlap a little bit when you're all sitting around talking. It's the sound of human connection, and it just glues the whole track together and makes it feel so alive. All right, time for our final and maybe our most powerful clue. This is where every single thing we've talked about comes together. The song uses a technique called prosody, which is really just a fancy way of saying the music perfectly matches the meaning and the emotion of the words. The sound becomes the story. So he sings this line. It's a classic example of something called addonatin. It's a hyperbole that's so extreme it's literally impossible, you know? Like saying, I'd catch a falling star for you. It's a promise that's so huge, it sounds like something out of a myth or a classic movie. It's a vow. And on that exact word, the Mariachi-style brass section, which has been waiting in the wings this whole time, it just erupts at full volume, fortissimo. The music doesn't just support the lyric, it acts it out. You don't just hear him promise to run through fire. For a split second, you actually feel the heat. So, let's put it all together.
We've gathered all our clues: the genre fusion, the coded emotion in the music theory, that warm analog production, and the way the lyrics and the music become one single thing. It's time to solve the mystery of how this song manufactures a memory.
It really is the perfect combination of all these ingredients you see here. The music theory creates the longing, the analog gear gives you that tangible warmth of a different era, the live room bleed makes it feel human, the lyrics feel totally timeless, and the music physically becomes the emotion. And all of this is built on a foundation of cultural fusion that taps into this collective, almost ancestral musical memory.
And that's our final verdict. The reason a song like Risk It All feels like a memory is because it's built from the universal pieces of human emotion. It's not making you remember a specific time or a place, but the feeling of devotion itself. It's tapping into a language we all understand, whether we've actually lived that specific story yet or not.
So the question I'm going to leave you with is this. Now that you know the recipe, what other songs do this to you? What music makes you feel homesick for a place you've never actually been? It's a beautiful trick of the art form. And now you know exactly how it works.